Hi there, this is Ken Oestreich. I'm Vice President of Product Marketing here at Egenera, and I want to take the next 10 minutes or so and walk you through what the Dell PAN system is and a little bit about how it might help you and your data center and simplify your processes. Real first, a little bit about Egenera. We were founded by the former CTO of Goldman Sachs, who dealt with these problems that are probably relatively familiar to you, things like underutilized resources, inflexible infrastructure, server counts that are growing and decreasing your management efficiency, downtime that you'd like to decrease, deployment cycles that are long chiefly because of labor-intensive infrastructure management, and ultimately the complexity of legacy servers. How come these take so much time to administer? And I'm going to be talking particularly about administering to the physical aspects of your servers in the next slide or two. A little bit about Egenera. We are an 8 going on 9-year-old enterprise systems data center vendor. In other words, we're focused entirely on enterprise-grade mission-critical data centers. We have a pretty decent background, but pedigree of high-performance mission-critical installations around the world, over 1,300 locations worldwide. We're also a Dell OEM partner. Is that we're bundled closely with Dell hardware. We'll get into that in a minute. The problems we're combating, IT's largest problem, is data center operational spending. What is this blue line here? This blue line is talking up to the operational aspect of provisioning servers, provisioning software, changing physical configurations of network and servers, and etc. What's happening? Complexity is rising, efficiency is falling. This is wrong. As data centers scale, complexity should be falling and efficiency should be rising. And this is the main problem that the Dell PAN system. What are the sources of those problems? Installing and provisioning physical servers and blades, installing and provisioning software, configuring the I/O. Big one here. What does your network look like? What do your network interface cards look like? What's your storage connectivity? Programming switches, load balancers, VLANs, etc., and cabling all this stuff. That is what's driving this blue line. What are we talking about in terms of the Dell PAN system? It is available on Dell hardware. It is a pre-integrated system on Dell hardware with pre-installed Egenera PAN Manager. PAN stands for Processing Area Network. And what I really want to drive home, you'll hear me say a couple of times during the next few minutes, dead simple operation. We're going from a situation where you are manually configuring infrastructure to one where it is a single GUI, simple point and click, things are done practically instantly. And I should emphasize that the agreement and shipping product has been going on now for a while between Egenera and Dell. So what is it? What am I talking about? Let's get out of the abstract. What we're selling as an integrated data center infrastructure orchestration system. What that means is we are simplifying how you, IT management, configure the entire compute, I/O, network configuration, and storage infrastructure with a point-and-click approach. We are abstracting and defining in software all of these infrastructure components. And we're doing so regardless of whether it's running physical or virtual. What does this look like? We are enabling more of a dynamic data center, right? The ability to do this stuff on the fly for servers running both virtual and physical. And here's another kicker. Highly reliable 5 nines of service. Because when you can re-provision a machine running physical or virtual in a matter of minutes, or recreate a machine, or clone a machine, or clone an entire environment that's consisting of all of these components, and do so in software through a GUI, this GUI here on the right, we can maintain a highly reliable file. Let's take a closer look at that GUI. What we're able to do is define a server configuration and instantiate it immediately or store it away for future use. And what I mean by defining a server configuration is what physical boxes are we talking about, or what virtual machines are we talking about. We can define those transparently. What do your NIC cards, your network interface cards, look like for that server? What do the Ethernet switches look like for that server? What kind of storage, connectivity, host bus adapters, and SAN switches are going to be attached to that server? What operating systems are going to be running on that server? What sorts of consoles, control do you want to that server? And then the big kicker for this slide is, once you define the server, define what the failover properties or the disaster recovery properties of that server are going to be. In other words, what pool or what environment ought it fail over? I should emphasize here, we are very, very complementary to virtualization. Here's why. Most people believe the working assumption in IT today is that agility and dynamics happen at the software layer. It's chiefly because of this thing, this virtual container. People believe that all agility happens because when you have a virtual container, the application OS stacks are mobile anywhere you want. The truth is, that's not always true. Because if your infrastructure for your target machines, right, so your physical processing, your I/O here, your local network, if these don't match relatively closely from your production machine to your recovery machine, you do not get all the benefits of this mobility up here, right? Believe it or not, your networks have to match, your I/O needs to match, etc. So take these examples. If your infrastructure is not a close match, live migration, failover, disaster recovery won't work. All right, you'll have to still send somebody out there on the floor to create a complementary or a compatible host, for example, for your VMs to fail over to. What are the benefits, right? Why are we doing this? What comes out as a result of being able to define infrastructure on the fly? First and foremost, radical simplification of your infrastructure. Analysts have pointed out that the same administrators, the same IT resources can manage an order of magnitude more physical servers than before using Egenera software. Why? Because rapid rollout and agility, ability to create infrastructure, create a compatible server, a very highly reliable server in a minute or two or three. What are the results here? The ability to have N+1 high availability for physical or virtual, giving you the 5 nines of reliability. The ability to do disaster recovery of an entire physical, virtual networking I/O environment. And obviously the ability to do rapid provisioning, to get those applications provisioned and out and running in a matter of minutes without having to send somebody out to the floor to ensure that a machine has the appropriate I/O or NICs or what have you. And what does this look like from a product perspective, right? It was our product line. When you buy a Dell PAN system, the software you get is something called PAN Builder. It has a number of standard services built into it. Infrastructure management services that maintain I/O virtualization, maintain a stateless environment for the CPUs so that they can be repurposed, create an intelligent networking fabric for you. Also standard are process management tools. Server definition management, so you define those servers the way you want them to. The ability to provision those servers on demand. The ability to track their usage for chargeback. And obviously the ability to manage them in an automated fashion. And then there are 3 optional modules you can buy. Something called PAN Builder, PAN VM Builder, to give you the ability to embed transparently virtual machines into the system, so you can decide to deploy a physical machine or a virtual machine. Something called PAN Server Portability, that gives you those high reliability properties that you like for whatever software payload you're using. And something we call PAN Portability, that gives you that environment-wide ability to do disaster recovery. Very, very simple product line, adds an incredible amount of simplification to your infrastructure, and it results in a huge, huge degree of efficiency and availability. So thank you. If you'd like to contact me with any additional questions, I can be reached at koestreich@egenera.com. Thank you.